Welcome to our podcast, Pro Audio Music and Storytellers. My name is Rafael Guzman, and here I am with Gabriel Miranda, who is the director, programmer, everything that is organized in the show, and my good friend, our guest, very famous ex-lead singer for Inner Circle, Kris Bentley.
What's up?
Thank you
What's up?
for coming to help us.
It's good to be here.
The song of the day of the show is going to be Carry On My Wayward Son from Kansas, from the 1976 album Les Overture, produced by Jeff Glickman, and it was a breakthrough for the band first 40 top song. It was recorded in Bogalusa, Louisiana. That's something different. The song and practically the whole album was written by Kerry Livington, the guitarist player and keyboardist too. Kansas was found in Topeka, Kansas. In 1973, the final cut from a local band's White Clover and Reasons Why. In March 1973, it was signed by Wally Gold, assistant to the famous mogul producer Don Kirshner. It's one of the most recognized producers for rock in America. Has a relation with Atlanta. Why? Because in 1997 they moved to Atlanta for logistic reasons, which is one of your headquarters.
Yeah, it's one of my
in
headquarters.
Georgia. So here we are, Kris Bentley, famous lead vocal singer, Inner Circle, from 1995 to 2008, 14 years. He joined the band here in Miami. Curious about that, huh? Lead vocalist on the studio album for Da Bump, 1997, and Speak My Language, 1998. Kris' headquarters, business today, is in Atlanta and Miami. Kris, first question. What was the song, the record, that captivated you to feel this is the industry that I want to be?
I mean, growing up in Jamaica, the main music was reggae. But there are different influences. It was never just reggae music. It was always American music coming in, R&B, pop, rock. We listen to a lot of rock and we listen to a lot of country in Jamaica. Most people don't know this.
Right.
So our music is influenced by those genres. I always knew I wanted to do music. But then I heard this group, Tears for Fears.
Wow. Tears for Fear. Gentlemen,
And that was a turning point.
this is surprising. No reggae, star in rock, in one of the best Jamaican reggae bands. Look at his that. Rock.
Yeah, rock music.
Wow. It's incredible. The song that you're talking about was released in 1985, recorded in 1984, produced by Chris Hughes, recorded at the main location in Bankington, Somerset, England, and Garden Studios, London, Union Studios in Germany, and the keyboard player home studio. You know that, Miranda? No, you don't know that. You were too young. You probably were not born at that time, Miranda. So, all right, that's surprising. What bands did you play in Jamaica before Inner Circle?
Well, so my initial musical career started because I always knew I wanted to do music. I've been singing and writing from a very young age. I'm very entrenched in the arts. So I would draw, I would carve. I made my first guitar.
Wow.
Yes, I made my first guitar. It kind of played. I didn't know how to play it, but I just made a guitar.
There we go. You got the technology back.
So I made a guitar. And I just knew I wanted to do music. I didn't know how I was supposed to get into mainstream music in Jamaica because I had no family members who were musicians. I had no relatives who were singers. I had nobody, you know. But I just kept writing and trying to come up with ideas for music. And I remember in high school, hanging out with some friends of mine, you know, put it long and short of it, I had two sets of friends. We were rival schools. One set of kids went to Kingston College, which is where I went, and one set went to a school called Calabar. We didn't get along. But my friends who went to Kingston College with me, they were kind of messing up, just not serious about anything. So I started to gravitate towards the Calabar guys. I'm the only Kingston College guy hanging with the enemy.
Wow.
And then one day I said to them, you know, let's form a band. And they're like, what? Form a band? I'm like, yeah, let's form a band. They're like, none of us know how to play any instruments.
There we go.
How are we going to form this band? I'm like, we're going to learn. And they're like, we're going to humor you. Keep talking. So I'm like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play the guitar. I don't know how to play guitar. I'm going to play the rhythm guitar, and I'm going to be the lead vocalist.
There we go.
And then you are going to play bass. I pointed to my Peter. You're going to play bass, and because you look like a bass player.
I don't know.
And I'm like, you're going to play lead guitar to my friend Gary because you look flashy. Okay, you're going to play lead guitar. And then I looked to Keith, who was the fourth member at the time, and I was like, you can either play drums or keyboards. You choose. And everybody was like, okay, so how are we going to learn to play instruments? I'm like, we're going to find someone to teach us.
Wow.
So my bass player to be, his brother, older than us, he was very forward thinking. He would listen to a lot of pop music and rock music. And he played me Tears for Fears.
Wow.
And I remember hearing this song and I was like, oh, this vocals, I love this vocals. This is how I would want to, you know, express myself. I don't want to sound like a reggae singer.
Right.
You know, I was influenced by Bob Marley in terms of his movement, but not his singing. I was like, you know, this sounds so amazing to me. He was like, okay, so I know some people who are a band, two sets of bands. One set is a blind man's band, and one they're seeing, you know, but they're same management. They're my friends. I'm going to talk to them. Long story short, he spoke to them. They took us under their wings. Each member was assigned to one of the players, and the bass player was assigned to the bass player. I was assigned to the guitarist, and also Sydney, who played keyboard, God rest his soul, and he was going to give me vocal lessons. So I learned to play guitar. Peter learned to play bass. Gary learned to play lead guitar, and Keith learned to play keyboard. And the band started.
Wow. And you know what? One thing, Miranda. Think about this. They were playing rock in the best reggae land in the world, where it was born. That is like playing reggae in Nashville. That's country music.
That's a good analogy. That's a good comparison too.
Oh Lord. So, who made the call from Inner Circle? How that connection?
So, when we started the band, we were, you know, just out of high school. We had no jobs. Music was we wanted to do music. We wanted to do nothing else. So these people who never had a idea to do music, all of a sudden were converts of mine who now wanted to be musicians and who really loved playing music. So we started rehearsing. The same band that we were learning from, we would be rehearsing there every day. But unfortunately, we only knew one record. We only knew how to play one song. So, and the one song, crazy enough, was Exodus by Bob Marley.
No kidding!
So
Wow.
it's Exodus, Movements of Your People.
Right,
and the reason,
right.
and you know,
Big
there's
movement.
a trick to it as a musician, that the reason why we could only play that one song, we were so good at it, because it was one chord. It was a one chord song. It was an A minor.
There we go.
So I was playing that one chord and I was singing Exodus. And we did that song for almost a year. Every day we played this song almost a year. But the problem was, the band members from the other two bands who actually worked at this building, who were kind of our mentors, they got tired of hearing the same song every day for a year. So they had enough of this song. So there was like,
get these guys out of here.
So they were like, you guys have been playing this song for almost a year. You need to learn top 40 music that we can put you in the workforce to get shows for you to go play like hotel venues, because Jamaica's a tourist country. Make some money. And I was like, no. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, we're not playing any top 40 music. We're not doing any of that.
We're not gonna be commercials.
We're not doing any of that. That's just, so what are you gonna do? And they sat back and they looked at me like, so what are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm gonna write new music. I'm gonna write songs, and we're gonna record and play our own songs. They're like, okay. So I started writing the songs for the band.
Wow.
And everything I wrote was alternative or rock influenced music. So they were even more upset because we were now going down a path that they couldn't see a future for.
Right.
So we wouldn't be making any money trying to play rock in Jamaica.
Right.
And we're like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. And we started writing and playing this kind of music. So somewhere along the line, I wrote this song called Lonely Nights. You know, streets are lonely and I walk. Real kind of rock ballad.
Right.
And we're working on this record, but my band members were not efficient enough to produce the record.
Oh.
So my vocals were good, but the band couldn't play the music.
Right.
So my bass player's brother recommended that we go work with these two. We call them uptown Jamaicans, you know.
Pop-Tarts.
They were gonna produce, but they were great engineers and musicians. Peter Couch and this guy called Philip Zadie.
Wow.
So they put me to work with them. The rest of the band couldn't contribute because they didn't have the proficiency. And the song was a big rock ballad, like rock.
Look at that.
So they produced this record, and as fate would have it, the record came out amazing. It came out so amazing that guess who heard it and wanted to sign me?
I'd be surprised. I'm not, but yeah, go ahead.
Tears
Tell
for
me.
Fears.
Who
Tears
was?
for Fears.
Oh Lord, Tears for Fear heard that. Oh, Jesus Christ! You're full of surprises, man.
Tears for Fears heard the record and wanted to sign us, and the producer and the engineer
Right.
started fighting about royalties. Who would get what? Because they were going to give me $1 million.
Oh Lord.
So you're talking about in the 80s, $1 million.
That's
US,
a lot of money
that's
in
a
the
lot
80s,
of money in
man.
the 80s. So people would see me and be like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be rich," and I'm like, "No, I'm not jumping the gun.
Right.
I want to see the deal done."
Right.
Deal never happened. So it
Never happened.
Never happened because they started fighting over the royalties.
The engineer and the producer started
engineer
fighting for the money,
producer,
and the
'cause,
product wasn't already.
Yeah, it was never about. For them, it was never about music. It was never about me. It was about money. And they heard and saw something potential that could make them a lot of money, so they gravitated towards the whole thing.
That's quite a story. That's quite a story.
Yeah.
And then what was? You were here in Miami when Inner Circle called.
No, I wasn't in Miami. So for years, we were trying to do music independently because they kicked us out of the house. They were like, "We have enough of you guys. You're not trying to make any money. You gotta go." So they kicked us out.
They saw the future, right?
We had nowhere to play, so we were playing in my friend's backyard. We would rehearse in the rooms, anywhere we could get a chance.
Right.
We just want to play music and we'd rehearse. And, time went by and nothing happened. I got a call from this band in Jamaica called School. It was just SKOOL. School at the time comprised of the number one guitarist in the country,
Oh Lord.
the number one drummer in the country, and one of the
Yeah.
top keyboard players in the country.
Wow.
So it was really one of those really
Heavy
good
hitters.
band. And they called me and they were like, "Hey, we're thinking about launching school, and the only person we could think of as far as a vocalist
Wow.
is you. Do you want to be the lead vocalist
Wow.
for school? And I was like, no, I have my own band. Why are you trying to give me your band?
You were
I don't want to
young.
be your band. Yeah, I don't want to be in your band. I got my own band.
You were a rebel.
Yeah, nah, because I'm a very loyal person. So if I'm with you and we start something, I'm not gonna be the one to
Right.
jump ship. The ship is gonna go down with me. So I would not entertain any of that stuff. So they're like, okay, come on, come join school. I'm like, no. My mom then sees me trying to do this music stuff, and she's like, okay, I think you've done enough of this. It's time for you to go finish college. I'm sending you to the U.S. to go finish college. And I was like, no,
It's
I'm
a
not
right
going. And she's like, okay. And she was like, hands off. I got that offer to go to college, and like the next year, every member of my band got the same offer to go to the U.S. in some way, shape, or form, and they all took it. So I
Wow.
was left, the only member of the band left in Jamaica. Everybody got their opportunity to go abroad, and they took it, and I was left with nothing. So, but I kept practicing, and I would go to Sydney, the keyboard player. He's a blind keyboard player, perfect pitch.
Wow.
That's a kind of a spin-off of being blind, where your ears
Right.
become very developed. They could identify notes by just hearing a car pass and the horn blow. They could say, oh, that's an E minor or F. They could identify the sound. So doing vocals with him and practicing vocals was so amazing because he had perfect pitch, so he would hear every
Right.
imperfection in my vocals, and I would be singing with him. And my song at the time to practice to sing was Donny Hathaway's "A Song for You."
Wow.
Do you know that song?
Wow.
It's a big song. Vocally,
Yes.
it's a very big song, and I would kill the song. I would like
Wow.
note for note. I was like, because I was like, someone who has like a very photographic memory, so I remember melodic structures and I remember lyrics. And I was singing that song one day, practicing with him, and here comes this performer from a band that's very famous in Jamaica. His name is Wayne Armand. He was lead guitarist and lead singer for a band called Chalice. So he came there to see the people, and he heard me singing. When he heard me singing, he never said anything to me. When I finished, and he was like, "Oh, you're a really good singer." I'm like, "Thank you." In the conversation, never thought much of it. He left there. 2 days later, my phone rang, and it was this guy from a band called MC Squared.
MC Squared.
Yeah, energy equals MC Squared. Now, MC Squared was what I had all my life tried not to be, which was a top 40, a top 40 singer. I didn't want to sing no pop song. I didn't want to sing no dancehall. I didn't want to sing nothing but what I wrote.
Right.
But they were a top 40 band, and it was an opportunity. So instead of not doing anything and have my mom at my case,
Right.
I decided to go sing for them. So I became their lead singer. And I remember the first day they met me, we were sitting on their porch in Jamaica. And they said to me, "Okay, we want you to come join the band to be the lead singer for the band." I was like, "Cool." And then they're talking, and I like very abruptly like say to them, "Okay, I'll do it, but I'm not gonna stay." And they're like, "What do you mean you're not gonna stay?" I'm like, "No, this is not what I'm supposed to do." They're like, "You know what you're supposed to do?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is not it, but I'm gonna help you to become known in Jamaica." Remember, I have no experience with none of this stuff.
Right.
I don't know what they're doing, what they play. I just know that I'm confident enough in my abilities that I'm going to help you to become. And they said, okay. They were laughing in their minds. They were like, who the hell is this guy?
Right. So confident at that time, no?
Yeah. And a month in, we were all over the newspapers. Everybody was talking about energy equal MC squared.
Wow.
And what they were doing, they were playing top 40, but the top 40 for them meant calypso, soca,
Right.
reggae, and I had to learn to sing everything.
Right. Good school.
So I basically learned to swat records from Trinidad every year to become this lead singer for this band. So I got used to doing that
Right.
stuff, and just it expanded my musical horizon. I
You
never
know, you're
wanted to-
considered one of the first ones to do that in reggae by our research. What you did,
Yes.
that what you're talking about, you're considered online on the internet one of the pioneers of that style.
Yes. And it's crazy because, you know, I tell people when you're doing something, you're not aware of what you're doing. You're
Right.
just doing what you're doing because you feel comfortable
No, we know
doing
that.
that.
We know.
You have no clue about what it is
Right.
that you're creating, or how the influence you'll have on people that come after you.
Your drive, your
Your
heart.
drive. No, you know, and it's kind of the way I go about everything that I do. And, you know, long story short, I was with them for a while. School found another lead vocalist, and they were working with this other singer for
Oh, wow.
a while. And then it didn't work for them. And they came back to me after they saw me singing with this band. I know they said, okay, so he's not with his band anymore. So maybe no, we can approach him again about singing for us.
Right.
So they approached me about singing for them, and I was like, yeah, cool. So I told the band I was with, you know, I'm going to go do this with school. You know, it's an international
Oh my
band.
God.
They're going to tour, so I'm going to go on tour with them, whatever the situation is. So by this time, I got a U.S. visa. Before, I never had one because my mom left me alone to do
Right.
this music thing. So she never got me my student visa. So I now got a U.S. visa, visitor's visa. So now I was touring with school,
Wow.
doing shows with them abroad. So we started rehearsing, me and this band called School, and the music was incredible. And everybody in Jamaica was watching us because we were like the next biggest band to come out of Jamaica. Everybody was watching us. And we would do shows, like main stage shows, where we would be the headliners and we didn't have a record.
No kidding. That's a difficult thing to approach.
in Jamaica, especially Jamaica.
Yeah.
We played some of the biggest festivals in Jamaica that people, if you're not good, they would stone you with bottles. And we played those shows,
Make
and
sure that
nobody rejected us. You know, so we were doing pretty good. And I got a call from them one weekend, and they're like, "Hey, there's a show coming up in Austin, Texas that we're gonna go do, but we're gonna be kind of the headliners." I'm like, "How can we headline? We don't have a record." He's like, "Well, the show is like set up where we're gonna back the artists on the show, but every time we back them up, we're gonna do a song after them or before them." So we're
Wow,
like,
that makes
"Yes."
sense.
So I'm like, "Really?" I was like, "Okay, cool." So what songs are we gonna do? They're like, "The songs we always do." So one of the songs we would do to open shows is Master Blaster.
Oh wow! No
Stevie
kidding.
Wonder, yes.
Stevie Wonder.
Yes. And so you can imagine, our guitarist was this cat from England called Ray Hitchens. Amazing guitar player. He's a rock guitar player. And the bass player was the son of Toots Hibberts.
Oh Lord.
So, and he was an amazing bass player and very good showmanship. And then Desi Jones, who was the drummer, was considered one of the best drummers that Jamaica
Right.
ever produced. So we started practicing Master Blast and different songs or whatever. So we went on tour. My first time on tour in the US. And I remember we went to Austin, Texas to perform. I got on stage and we started playing this music. And the TV station there was there to record the event. It was like a festival.
Right.
But like a farm festival.
Right.
So they were there to record the farm festival. And in the middle of recording the farm festival, we go boom, ba ba boom, ba 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 boom, ba ba boom, ba 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 ba, and we start boom, 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 and we start playing this Master Blaster. And the camera crew, when I said everyone's feeling pretty, they just went like this with the cameras and started filming us. They weren't supposed to film the show.
Oh wow, that gave me chills.
So they turned the cameras and they started filming us. And they recorded our entire set. We never knew where that tape was.
Wow.
We never asked them for it. We never questioned anything. We just were doing.
Right, you
It
were
wasn't
young.
our songs
You were young.
anyway, right?
Right.
And it wasn't our songs. It wasn't
Right.
like you're recording our material and the copyright. We're playing Stevie Wonder's music.
Right.
We're playing different songs from different artists. You know, we're playing Bob Marley. So they recorded it, and it was what it was. We got back to Jamaica, and they told me, hey, so our next tour is Japan. I'm like, whoa,
Oh, Lord.
really? Like,
There we
yes,
go.
like Japan. I've never been to Japan in my life. I went, my first time touring was kind of weird because I actually went to North Korea and South Korea. Yes, yes. Crazy. Which one is the communist side? Is it North Korea? North Korea is the communist side.
That's right.
So we went there and
Rebels
we were
coming to North Korea.
We went there, and my first time flying, I went from Jamaica to Cuba, from Cuba to Ireland, from Ireland to Khabarovsk, from Khabarovsk to Red Square in Moscow, from Moscow to North Korea.
Lord,
I was
that was
flying.
enough to cover all the miles that you didn't do
Yes,
before.
I was flying
On your
for
first trip.
hours and hours of flying. My
Lord.
first time flying. But, you know, that was my initiation into touring. But then with this band going to Japan, I was so excited. Oh my God, I'm going
Right.
to go to Japan. I'm going to perform.
young, can
I
you
was
imagine?
ready for this. So we rehearsed my couple songs. They were like, you're going to open the show in Japan. You're going to be the opening act. So we recorded and we polished our stuff to go to Japan. We get to Japan, and upon arriving in Japan, to my surprise, the promoter says, okay, so this is your per diem, and by the way, you're going to be singing background vocals for everybody on the show. No, I never sang background in my life. I was a lead vocalist.
Exactly.
What
Here we go.
background? What is that? You're like, oh, you're going to have to practice. So I was in Japan for the first week. Never saw what Japan looked like. I was in Tokyo. I was in a hotel room every day. I left from room to room to room to room to room. I was doing background vocals for Shinehead. I was doing background vocals for Freddie McGregor. I was doing background vocals for Nadine Sutherland. I was doing background vocals for Leroy Sibbles. So I was just learning their songs. I was familiar with their songs, but
Right.
from a lead vocalist standpoint.
Right.
So I never sang
Different.
the background notes or the harmony notes. I
Right.
never harmonized anyone in my life. So the first week in Japan, I never saw the sun. I was
What
just
is Kris
singing,
in the room?
learning the song.
Yeah,
I was walking
right.
around. Back then it was like, Walkman with headphones and listening to these songs. So I got the per diem for food for each day, and the shows started, and the stage manager said, okay, so tonight he gave me the rules of engagement, and he was like, tonight you're gonna do this show, you're gonna open the show, but there are rules to performing in Japan. I'm like, okay, what are the rules? He's like, you can't get off the stage, you can't touch the audience, you can't incite them to come to run to the stage, you can't do any of that stuff.
Oh, Lord.
But everything he said went in the series and came out the next time.
Like a room.
I'm so sure.
Yeah,
Of course.
there we go.
No problem.
There we go.
Got on stage and did everything he told me not to do. I touched the crowd. They got crazy. They ran up to the stage. I jumped off in the crowd with them. I was having fun. So the show, with all these Jamaican artists who were stars, started off like this.
Right.
And then it went because they couldn't keep the energy
Right.
up. I didn't know any of this stuff. I was just enthusiastic and like gung-ho about performing. I didn't care.
Right,
I wasn't thinking
right.
ahead. I
Right.
wasn't, like meticulously thinking about, okay, I shouldn't do this because it's gonna. I didn't know about that stuff. So the next night, obviously, I'm super hyped to go on stage again. So I'm ready to go open the stage, and he's like, oh, no songs for you tonight.
Yeah, but come here. Come here, sit down here.
Him like, no songs for you tonight. You're just gonna do background vocals. So I'm like, okay, cool. I wasn't even upset. I
Right.
was so happy to be doing music
Right.
and being on the road doing music.
And the night before, they were so
nothing you can
successful.
say can break my spirit. You can't break
Right,
my
right,
spirit. I
right.
don't care what you say to me. I am on a point in my life where I'm seeing this as an opportunity to do something amazing. So whatever happens, I'm saying it's a part of my path.
Right.
And I'm embracing it.
Exactly.
So I went on stage and sang background like I was a part of the whatever, and their shows went up because I was bringing this energy and giving them this energy. Like, yo, come on, because Jamaican music is great, but it's recitalist. Most Jamaican artists are not performers.
Right. Right.
They basically sing back their songs according to how they record it, and they will walk on a stage.
Well, one thing that I know, and for years that we were friends with Kris, he said, you're a leader. And you prove it here. You put a band together where he didn't know how to play. And neither the people around him, and they follow you.
They followed me.
That's a leader.
Yes. And we did the Japan tour. End of the tour, I was expecting to be paid. Never got paid. All I got paid was the per diem, the money to eat. And I wasn't upset. I was like, okay, cool. It is what it is. It was a great opportunity. I got to go to Japan. So, whatever.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, let's now talk a little bit about 18 Sound Speakers. Our sponsor, Universal Music, 18 Sound Speaker, Linear Research, and the Healthy Mafia. 18 Sound, it's distributed in U.S. and the Caribbean islands, on certain countries in South America by Universal Music. You can call us at 305-499-9393. Gabriel Miranda and I will be happy to answer your calls and your necessities. Today we have the 18 Sound ND410. It's a 6-inch speaker.
I love this speaker.
180 watts. The power continuous. The peak power is 480. 180 is the continuous. The peak is 480. The good thing is that 102 dB sensitivity. You know, the frequency response goes from 200 hertz to 8,000. This speaker is used a lot in line arrays. It's a very, very good, one of the most powerful 6-inch speakers that you can find in the market. And distributed by Universal Music. We'll be glad if you call us. You have any questions, anything that you need from 18 Sound, we will be glad to help you. Remember, Universal Music, 305-499-9393, down in Florida, Miami. Back to Kris. You are a user of 18 Sound speakers.
I'm a very happy user of 18 Sound speakers.
That's here, continue. Tell me more about you. You heard a story that you surprised everybody in Brazil, Japan. That energy that really marked who was in Inner Circle in those years. They were a band well known in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you get there, is that when the explosion came.
It's crazy to think back, you know, because I was kind of unaware of what was going on. You know, my tenure with the band basically came from that video that they filmed in Austin.
Wow, in Austin, Texas.
In Texas.
And Texas is not easy.
Not easy, no.
At all.
And it came about because the band I was in school, they called me one night and said, hey, there's a A&R from RCA Records who's here to look at these young artists for this record label. And the label wants us to back them up. We were supposed to be the backing band for these young artists.
Wow.
And they're like, do you want to come and open the show? Just like do 2 or 3 songs. I'm like, cool, no problem. So I drove to the venue. Showtime came. I went on stage. I did what I did. I just enjoyed myself, and I love performing. More than even recording, I love performing. So I performed the 3 songs, got back in my car, went home. I wasn't looking to hang out. I was looking to party.
Right.
And that's
you
not
were focused on what you were doing.
Yeah. So I went, did what I did, and I left. A week later, I got a call from my band leader, and he's like, hey, so RCA doesn't want any of the artists they saw. I'm like, no, they want us.
Oh, wow.
They want to sign School. So I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, they want to sign School. So I was like, okay. So he's like, but the source that told him he cannot reveal that she told him that RC wanted to sign
Oh,
him.
wow.
And the reason why was because you know who Don Taylor is? You ever heard of Don Taylor?
Yeah.
Don Taylor was Bob Marley's manager.
Right. Wow.
RCA got to him asking him about us. So when they asked him about School, he told RCA that he managed us. Wow. So he told RCA, give him some time, he's gonna work on a deal.
You are at that age,
sign
you
it.
have that all that in front of you. Wow.
So
So you don't
he-
know how to deal with it.
So he basically came to our band leader, who was Desi, the drummer, and said to him, hey, so, you know, I've been watching you guys live, and you guys are really amazing. We saw the shows that you did with the American R&B, top R&B groups that came, and the next day we did a show with Ray Goodman and Brown, Peaches and Herb, Shy Lights, big R&B American
Right.
group, and the next day on the front of the newspaper, we were on the front of the newspaper. Like, School
Wow.
killed it. And then we played the music for them. So we backed them up, and I was the opening act, and I outshone everybody on the show. So he's like, I've been watching you guys, and I think I can get you a deal. You already had a deal. He already spoke to RCA. But he was like, but I want a deal with you guys. So Desi was like, whatever you want. And he's like, okay, I want 50% of your management.
Lord, dealing with that at that age.
And it was crazy because two of my band members were a band of 5 people, and 2 people wanted to sign it, and 2 people didn't want to sign it. And I was the breaking vote in the whole thing. And I was like, I sat and I listened to everybody speak. I was like Solomon, the King Solomon of wisdom, and I was listening to all of these guys. They're all older than me. And I was listening to them talk, and when everybody was talking, 2 people decided they want to sign this deal, and 2 people decided they didn't want to sign. I was like, well, for me, I am not going to sign this deal. And they were the 2 guys, the drummer and the bass, were like, man, we thought you would be with us. I'm like, no, why would I give my children's legacy away
Right.
to this man? I'm not doing that. The band went like this.
Split.
Fell apart.
Oh,
It
Lord.
fell apart. The band basically broke up. So the band breaking up, I felt very like lost. Because this was like such an amazing journey
Right.
to work with such good musicians.
Right.
It was important to me, and it fell apart.
Get you. Right.
And I remember I went to Japan, and I was background singer for all these artists.
Right.
So I didn't know the impact I had on Japan, even just as a background singer and an opening act.
Yeah, no,
I had no idea.
No, do this. Right.
I didn't
Broke the
know.
rules.
So
A rebel.
I come to the promoter. His name was Tony Johnson, a Sunsplash, and I said to him, hey, would you let me open as a solo act in Japan?
No kidding.
And he's like, nah, I already offered that to someone else. Next time, maybe. I'm like, okay, cool. Walked away, was over. About 2 days later, my phone rings, and it's the drummer, Desi Jones. And he's like, you know, if you weren't such a good person, I wouldn't call you to tell you what I'm about to tell you. But you've always been cool with me, and I've always respected how you
Right.
handle yourself.
Be loyal.
Inner Circle is looking for you.
Oh, Lord.
I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, Inner Circle is looking for
Inner
you.
Circle at that age give me
Yeah.
chills, man.
They're looking for you. And I'm like, okay. What do they want? And I'm just like, I think they want you to come and sing for them. I'm like, really? How did they find me?
Oh, my God.
He's like, I don't know, but
Like a Flamengo.
this is
looking
the
for
number.
you.
He gave me the number to call, and he said, like, I gave them your number. They're gonna call you. No, back then there were no cell phones. It was house phones.
Right,
Home
right.
phone in Jamaica.
Right.
So the phone rang. I answered the phone. It was the manager, and she was like, "Hey, we saw you perform." I'm like, "Where?" She said, "On a video."
The famous Austin, Texas
A
video.
video of you performing in Austin, Texas. We have been looking for our lead vocalist to go on tour with us for the last 5 months.
No kidding.
We have looked and listened to over 500 people.
Wow.
And these guys saw your video, and the moment they saw it, they said, everybody went, "That's him."
That's the guy.
That's him.
Lord.
And that's how I became lead vocalist for Inner Circle.
And it wasn't that easy, you know,
No.
replacing such a, singer,
Yeah, Carlton.
leader, right?
It wasn't,
A leader of the movement in Jamaica. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy because they were, based in, based in Florida, and it's so weird because the real lead vocalist for Inner Circle, who made them known, was this guy called Jacob Miller. Jacob Miller was a fireball. He was like a great performer, and he died accidentally, weirdly, on the 23rd of March.
Oh shit.
I have a thing about 23. It's always popping up in my life. I'm born on February 23rd. Jacob died on March 23rd. It always, if I see the number, I'm going somewhere, I see 23, I immediately gravitate because I'm right. No, this
Yeah,
is,
now we gotta play that number.
yeah.
Mine's 18.
Yeah.
18 and 23.
You have that number that keep popping up, and it just keeps
Right,
popping
you gotta
up.
do something.
So I became their lead vocalist, and I get to Miami and I meet the guys, and they're kind of standoffish a little bit, because they don't know me, and this
North Miami,
Yeah,
right?
North Miami, right where Circle House is.
Right.
I remember walking there were no studios in the house, just a house, and a
Wow.
rehearsal room. And I walked in, and they were like, "Okay, so these are the songs you're gonna learn," and they give me this CDs. Like 3 CDs with like 12 songs each, and I had to learn all the songs within the next 2 weeks. So then I reflect on my days with the band learning soca songs, and
Right.
that was my preparation for this moment.
Wow, all the experience you had.
And it came together.
It's amazing.
Everything is linked together.
Everything
There's
is
purpose to life.
Wow. I have something to say that's supposed not to be saying too much. I heard, well, you are working on a solo project
I am.
after a few years.
I am.
How do you feel about that? What,
It's a different. So for me, music is no longer a job. Music was a job. For years, music was a job. It was how I fed my family. It was how I paid my bills. It was how I was able to afford to do the things that I wanted to do. And
Right.
music was that source of income for me. So for years, so I would do music, and I think it was more like, you have to do this because you need to do this record. And I did multiple albums with Inner Circle.
right.
And you had to finish the album because the record label and
Contracts.
da. Where I'm at now, mentally and spiritually, I want to do music because I love creating music and I have something to say. And I'm not concerned if it sells. I'm not concerned if it becomes a number one. I don't care.
Wow.
I just want to do music.
Well, I got to say something that happened that nobody knows, but who really, again, start all this craziness, it's not me. Gabriel Miranda, El Niño de Rio, was who started all this BS. He asked Kris one time, Kris came and saw the stage and the rehearsal, and Miranda, not me, Miranda, asked you, how do you feel about looking at the stage you felt? And
I remember.
I was around. Sadly, every time that Miranda got these crazy ideas, I'm around. and we saw your eyes get bright and like a shine like a stars. And that's when we knew this man is real. Not only that, a couple weeks ago we were in a social event where we were blessed. Had the band that's working, Kris project called Sendata, and they had the chance to sing
Jam.
in that small room. It was one
fun.
of the best experience that I ever had in my life in this business.
Yeah, it was fun.
Looking
Felt
at
good.
Kris Bentley, singing Sweat, singing Bad Boys, singing Police.
Yeah.
Lord, Miranda and I, we were like, where are we?
A redemption song.
Jose said that he will not ever sing that song again because he's singing next to you. He said, no more. He was one of our guests here in the third podcast. Said, I'm not singing that song anymore. I think it cannot get better than that. Well, here's a big change that you made. He's not only a leader on stage, a leader for bands, 5 people follow you, and now you become a studio designer and builder. How, I guess that with experience and all these things, tell us a little bit about that.
Unfortunately, or fortunately I should say, I have no previous to building my first studio, I had no experience building studios.
Wow.
And previous to 1997, 98, I had no construction experience either. I never.
There we go.
I didn't even operate a power tool in Jamaica. I didn't know.
I'm not surprised because you play music without knowing it. I'm not surprised.
No, I didn't know how to operate a power tool. I never operated a saw. I never operated a drill. Nada. It all came about by accident. I bought my first house. I was contented with the house. I was good. The house was nice. I got it at a really good price. It was clean. High ceilings on a lake, on a golf course. I was like, whoa, nice. I play golf, and I love golf. So then all my free time was never on music. My free time, because music was such a big part of my everyday life, that my free time was golf. So I would practice golf. I became really, really good at playing golf.
Right.
My clubs are in the back of my car right now. And
Always ready.
I'm always ready. I would be driving, like when I'm in Florida, in my car that's here, and I'd just pull over to the driving range and go hit balls, Yeah. And that's my therapy. So
We got both. We both had that
Yeah.
Saturday
Yeah.
night golf. It's
my drummer came over to my house, and he did such a big thing in my life without him even knowing it. And I'm sure if he's watching, he's gonna get a kick out of this.
right.
So he comes to my house, he walks in and he looks around and he says, well, at least you have a nice view. And I was like, what? Did he just disrespect my house like it's nothing? And I was like, is it really nothing? Because I'm never gonna be the person to be aggressive and
Right.
argue with you. Why are you talking? No.
No, right.
If you say something, I'm gonna internalize it and I'm gonna look inner and outer and see, is there truth to what this person just said? And I looked at the house and then I realized, you know what? It is plain. It is nothing special.
Uh-oh.
But it's not gonna stay that way. So I started looking at this house with different eyes. All of a sudden, there was a section in my brain that went click, and it was the construction, the design in my brain that went click.
The time finally move out.
And I was like, whoa. So I was like, it's that ugly, huh? So I called someone to renovate my bathroom. The person came, started working. I went on tour, came back from tour, saw what he was doing, fired him, had nobody to finish it, so I had to learn to finish it.
There we go.
Then my kitchen, I get to my kitchen, I'm renovating everything. I'm redoing the master bedroom, the floors, the ceilings, the walls, everything. I'm doing everything.
War zone.
Yeah, I'm so I stopped playing golf. This is now my focus to like get this house ready for my family. So the guy who's doing my kitchen is a friend of the band, and he's like, I'm talking to him like, hey, I need to redo my kitchen. He's like, okay, I can help you with that. He's a really good carpenter and a good finish, a cabinet guy. So I'm like, you know what? I really need somebody to help me fix this wall, because I have a thing about things being straight. And the wall beside the refrigerator was like this. And the refrigerator was like this. And it was like, so I was like, damn, that's ugly. So I'm like, yo, I need somebody to help me. He's like, okay, I got somebody for you. I'm like, bro, be careful who you recommend, because most of the people who get recommended to me, I fire them. And I end up doing the job because they're bad. He's like, no. This guy is the real deal. So I'm like, cool. Send him on. So the guy comes, I meet him, and he's talking to me, and he knows who I am. Because Tony, the carpenter guy, he tells him who I am. You know, like, this guy's a lead vocalist for one of the biggest reggae bands in the world. So he sets it up where he's trying to kind of intimidate the guy. Because the guy's kind of a redneck, for lack of a better word. But he's cool. And, you know, I'm from a country that we don't see color. So racism was not a thing for me. So I'm talking to him about what I want done, and at the end of me speaking to him, he says to me, okay, I can do everything you need, and I will charge you $1,400. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, but, I'm like, where's this but coming from? You said you wanted $1,400, and I agreed to it. But I don't have a helper, so if you become my helper,
no shit.
I will knock off.
There we go.
Like $400 to $600. I'm like, it was a test. So as life has progressed and I've experienced stuff more, I begin to understand.
He become famous in Home Depot.
Exactly. And I understand the test. That in your life, there are different points in your life when you will be tested.
Right.
And your response and your answer or your reaction time to the test determines if a door opens. Because life is about doors. I preach this to my people all the time. There's doors. You go through one door, you have to fulfill certain obligations within that space to open the next door. Or you can stay in that space if you're comfortable, not growing.
I definitely know your personality.
Not my personality. So he says, if you help me, I'll charge you less. I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, really? Because he didn't expect me to say that. Remember, he was just an instrument instructed to say what he said to see my reaction by the universe or by God, whatever you want to call it. I say by God because I believe in God. So when he said that, he expected me to say, hell no, you know who I am? And I was like, oh, sure, I'll be a helper. And I subjected myself to learning from this guy.
Wow.
And this guy was a perfectionist at carpentry. He finished my work within 3 to 4 days. On day number 5, I was in one of my vehicles, my pickup truck, heading to Home Depot to pick up material. I picked up material to turn my garage into a family room that became so well done that people would walk into my house and say, wow, I didn't realize the house was this big. And they were like, this is the garage. And they would like, no way. And they would leave, go back outside and look at the garage and look at the door and then come back and say, oh my God, it is the garage. I'm like,
so another talent, hidden talent.
Yeah. I became really good at finish carpentry and crown moldings and the details. I became really good at it, but I never built a studio. Studio comes around because my guitar player in Inner Circle, Roger, he says to me, you know, Circle House is so booked that we can't get the opportunity to record, and he wanted me and him to write because we would write together. He's like, yo, don't you think you could build a studio? I'm like, build a studio? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you know, our engineer, Chunny, we call him Chunny. Chunny knows how to build studios. Just ask him to tell you how to do it. So I'm like, okay. So I go to him and I was like, Oswald. His name was Oswald. We call him Chunny. I'm like, hey, so Roger, tell me that you know how to build studios. And he's like, yeah. So Mr. like, give me some pointers. How do I do it? So he starts telling me these things. And I'm listening, but I'm not listening. Why? Because I'm so used to doing, by this time I have some experience building. I didn't know the terminology for anything like trusses and frames. And I just know how to do it. Until one day, one of my guys around me who had experience was like, boss, you kind of need to learn some of these terminologies because you sound crazy talking to these clients and getting these jobs and you don't know what you're talking about. So I just started learning different things: the fluted casing, crown molding, baseboard, wainscoting, drywall, baseboard, soffits, trusses. I started learning the lingua for this new thing that I was going to do. Before you knew it, I had projects renovating houses and apartments. I had like 20 people working for me. People with a lot more experience than me, but I had an eye for detail and I had an eye for design. So I would be like doing stuff that they've never done before in like these apartments. I stayed in the cricket club apartment for like 2 years. Going from apartment to apartment, getting 2 at a time to do. I was just doing a lot, but I never did studios. So no, he's telling me these things, and I'm listening to him, but I'm not listening to him. Because I already know construction. So in my mind, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to do it my way. Yeah, I'm listening to him, and I'm kind of getting it, but I'm not getting it. Because he's like, you can't have the walls touching, everything has to be isolated, floating, and he's explaining these terminologies that I never knew existed. But I knew how to put a wall together, make sure it's structurally solid and not moving, which means tying it to another wall.
Right.
Which is opposite of what you do in a studio.
Structure.
So, my guitar player, he gives me money, and we put money together to build my first studio, our studio for us to write. And I rented a warehouse, and we started building the studio. By the time I was done building the studio, I was done building studios. I was over it. I was done. And the reason I was so done is because we sat in the studio that I just built, and we're in the office, which is right behind the control room, and people were in the control room talking, and I was hearing them through the wall. I'm like, something's wrong. That's a problem.
Right.
We didn't soundproof this place, did we?
Wow.
So it's like, you know what? I had my fun trying this, but this is not my thing. I don't want to do this anymore. 1 year later, my phone rings. My phone is always ringing with some opportunity. My phone rings, and this guy who has a record label here called Firehouse, and he gets
there we go, Firehouse.
He gets on the phone and he's like, "I've been looking for you for a year." I'm like, "You've been looking for me for a year?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "How is that possible? I know who you are. You know me. You know everybody in my band. You use Circle House to record your artists. So it's a simple, how do I get in touch with Kris?" And he's like, "Nobody would give me your number." I'm like, "Really?"
They're word of mouth.
So I'm like,
powerful information.
so cut to the chase. What do you want? He's like, "I want you to build my studio." I'm like, "Bro, no."
There we go.
I'm like, "No, I
it.
don't want to build no studio." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like,
There we go.
I'm like, "Listen to me very carefully. Listen to my words coming out of my mouth. I do not build studios." He was so persistent. You know what he said to me? He's like, "You know what? I just saw a restaurant that was a hole in the wall that they gave you to renovate, and you made it so nice that people who would buy food there stopped coming there because they think they couldn't afford the food anymore."
Hey, luxury.
I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." And I knew which restaurant it was. So I'm like, okay. The turning point for me was the first studio I built, which was mine. I had a budget of $30,000 between me and Roger to build the studio. After spending this money on this project, hiring people, doing my work myself, coming up with whatever, soundproof, so-called soundproof, it never worked. The studio wasn't soundproof. It wasn't, it looked all right. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't like really, really nice, but it looked good.
Right.
For a first time. But we spent $30K. So my next question to him was, okay, So, what's your budget? And he says to me, well, I have $50,000. Do you know what I heard? The average person in construction, especially struggling or someone trying to do construction like as a business, you have bills, you have a family to feed, everything. So when he said he had $50,000, the average person would hear, oh, okay, so I'm gonna make $20K off of this project because I'm gonna take 30 and build a studio. I'm gonna put 30 in my pocket.
50,000 is a lot of
business. I heard I have $20,000 more to get it right. That's what I heard. I didn't hear I was gonna make $20,000. I heard I got $20,000 more to get this right.
The passion.
Yes, to get it right. And from that day, when I accepted this project, I said to myself internally, I internalized what I said. I said, you know what? I will never accept anybody's money to do anything in this business until I've educated myself about how sound works and acoustics. I'm going to study it. And I bought this book, The Handbook of Acoustics. It's a hard read.
Right.
I can't tell you that I've read it.
Reflections and all that.
But as I would read it, I would understand what it's saying from a real life perspective, not just from a scientific perspective.
Of doing it.
Right, because I was gonna do it.
Right.
And the project that he gave me to do, when I was finished, I was inside working. I couldn't hear cars. I couldn't hear anybody talk.
Right.
So I achieved soundproofing, and I wouldn't know if it was night or day. I came out of that place and it was like 2 in the morning, and I thought it was like 10 or 7 in the evening. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I achieved soundproofing, and I achieved isolation, and I achieved, the design of the front wall, and I designed the design of the room, but I didn't have the finishes in terms of the way the acoustics look.
Right.
I never had that in that project, but I achieved one aspect of it. So I'm like, cool, no problem. Before I was even finished doing that, there was this woman pulling up outside that I knew who was like, hey, I've been looking for you.
There we go.
She's like, I'm like, for what? She's like, hey, the pastor wants you to build a church for Newburgh Baptist Church. I'm saying, what's your budget? Oh, 100,000.
Oh!
That wasn't a lot of money to do what I was about to do, because it was a big project. But that's their budget, and I accepted it. So I ended up sometimes sleeping in the building and waking up and working. My life from being this, superstar, going all over the world, performing on stages, singing in front of 50,000 people, singing in front of the entire Brazilian community over the radio.
Right.
I was now sleeping on a makeshift bed because I was so dedicated to trying to finish this project, and I had no crew. I had no crew to do anything.
Your heart.
No, none whatsoever. And I remember back then someone said to me, I think it was my mother-in-law, because I was married at the time, and I told her, I'm gonna build these studios, and that's what I want to do. And she's like, studio construction, is that even a business? I'm like, I don't know. I just know I want to be good at it, and I want to create something different that nobody has ever seen. She's like, okay, but
we know that. We know that. We work in quite a few studios with you. 18 Sound, Lena Research, and the studios are beautiful, amazing, beautiful work.
I changed the dynamic of studios. I basically rewrote how studios are seen.
Right.
If anywhere you go right now in the world,
the lights,
acoustics,
the structure,
it is influenced solely by my mind and what I've done.
Your imagination.
And I've built over 400 studios.
A blessed man. Now, I heard that you're working a project in Texas, a new project that it's at. Can we talk about that?
Wow. This project, I'm actually flying out to Houston on the 15th.
I know my things.
On the 15th to go see it. This studio is actually the oldest studio in the USA.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ.
The oldest studio in the USA.
Wow.
you can do your research. You can Google. If you ask Siri or what's the oldest student in the USA,
Miranda,
it's
we
gonna
will
tell
be
you that.
podcasting from Texas and the new studio. Right, go see how much is the ticket. We're going with Kris. Part of the thing.
Crazy.
Well, here's the next thing to do here. We have I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Let me explain to you to use the frog or no frog. Right? Like, here I am. I don't know what the frog I'm doing. That's, I owe him that to Miranda. Frog him. So, here we're going to tell you a few things. And frog is good. No frog is bad.
Okay.
Okay, so like it's a frog you. That means that hey Miranda, you're cool. Frog you. You're cool. No frog you. That'd be bad, right? There we go. First question: recording at home. Frog or no frog? I tell you, me. No frog. I don't get that. Working with other people. I get too perfection if I'm at home.
The thing is that home, what I say, home is a sacred space. And, whether we want to admit it or not, people bring and have energies. So if it's people you're really cool with, and you know their personalities and you know who they are, home is cool. But if not,
recording at home, no frog.
No
There we go. No frog.
no frog.
Frog you, Miranda. All right. There we go. One weird one. Sleeping with socks on.
Frog.
Frog. Or no frog. No frog. Miranda doesn't like
frog.
it. Oh, you know what? Sometime I gotta put it.
My feet are cold. My feet get cold.
No, down here in Miami and lately, damn it, no socks. So,
Miami, definitely. No
frog.
But in Atlanta,
There we
New
go.
York,
You need it.
Canada,
Yeah, definitely.
Canada,
You're right. I'm going there.
two socks.
Yeah. Now, cold showers. Miranda. Frog? Yeah, oh no, no frog. No. Can't give you hot water. Luxury. There we go.
Frog.
Karaoke.
Frog.
Frog.
Sometimes.
No, I like karaoke. Even though I don't sing, I go to karaoke places, but I don't sing.
I don't sing either.
I just enjoy watching other people trying it. I mean, it's fun.
No.
I love
it's
it. Frog.
funny as hell.
Yes.
Frog.
Vinyl albums.
Frog.
No frog? No frog. Yeah, I mean, I like it. This new generation,
It's coming back.
It's coming back. That's right.
coming back.
So, frog on that one.
Frog on
There we go.
I'd
Now-
actually like to make my album a vinyl. Once you
should.
finish it.
Yeah, that's
Add the
a
vinyl
new
version,
thing.
yeah.
Yes, they come to good business. 5 minutes drum solos. No frog solo. Nah, you're 5 minutes. I don't know
depends
that
on the
one.
drummer.
Too. There we go. That was what I was
Depends on
going to
the
say.
drummer.
Depending who's the drummer.
Depends on the drummer.
There we go. That's true. That's true. Now, taking naps. I don't have time for that. So it's no frog.
No.
I'm smoking all day.
I don't take naps.
No, you don't have time for that. So no frog with that one. Surprise parties. You like surprise parties?
I've never had a surprise party.
I don't like
in my
surprise
life.
parties. So no frog for me. You frog.
No.
So
No.
we'll go all frog. There we go. Now let's talk about a little what's the Healthy Mafia. The Healthy Mafia is an audio network brotherhood to help people. It was created an idea of few friends that at that time there were a few issues outside of U.S. trying to find an engineer or find equipment, and with a phone call we help. So there are members that they are not applied for. We pick them up, and that's the way that we create that. And actually, you've been a member for quite a few years. So, here we go. The first button that we're giving away, first thing, It's the Healthy Mafia button, right? The first one they were giving. Okay, what's selling, by the way? 550, text us to 754-204-2214 or email us at techrangestudios@gmail.com. So you are the first one to receive the Healthy
feel
Mafia
honored.
button. Few more things will come when the budget is right. So thank you. Thank you. Now, they were made by a person that was cool. I met them in the Instagram called Brady Bottoms. Check them at Brady Bottoms in the Instagram, you know. And don't forget that we're selling that too. It sponsored our podcast. Remember to subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Tech Rank Studios. We need subscribers. And I hope that you enjoy. Kris, I don't have words to thank you as usual. My brother, my friend,
Was a
good
pleasure.
experience.
It was a pleasure.
And hopefully by the end of the year or before, we will have another surprise with Kris Bentley solo album and Sendata.
That's what
So-
we're looking forward to.
Thank you very much. Good night. I'm going to drink a cup of coffee. Thank you.